How's it going? I'm Laurie G, and I am a father's rights defense coach who assists fathers and the supports people that are going through a child custody battle. Quick disclaimer about me before I go into the 5 things that you should consider doing when you are in a child custody battle if you're a father. Okay, this one's for the daddies. So quick disclaimer is I am not a lawyer. Okay, as I said, I'm a father's rights defense coach. Did I say that? Well, I'm a father's rights defense coach. I get my information from being part of the father's rights community for 8+ years. I've been coaching fathers and the supports people for the past 3 years, and I've made it an actual paid business in the last 18 months. Okay. The information that I give to you is for informational and educational purposes only. As I was saying before, the information that was gifted to me was from fathers. Did I was saying that? The information that I gather has been from fathers that have done really well in the child custody case or battle, and then also from fathers that actually did terribly. So that information is bittersweet, as in the information from fathers that did pretty terribly, because it's from real people. Okay, and I'm just here to pass it on to you, or to pass it on to others as to what are the do's and what are the don'ts. You know, what's likely to get you a good result and what's likely to get you a pretty shite result. So without further ado, here we go. I've got my little notes over here so I can be a bit more organized and not go off on a tangent too much. And that is 5 things that you should consider if you are a daddy going through a child custody battle. 1, not have a strategy, as in you should have a strategy. Okay, as in one of the first things that you should consider, and all of these are equally as important, okay, is that you should have a strategy. How am I going to do this? What should I do? What should I be thinking? What's my mindset? Write that shit down. And you might think, duh, that's an easy one to do. But you know how hard it is for some people to write that down? Do you know for a lot of dads who work with their hands, like tradies and stuff like that, or even dads that are in white-collar businesses, how hard it is to actually write down a plan or a strategy? Sometimes you just need somebody to help you do it. Now, I ain't trying to sell my services here because I work by myself, okay? And I can only have a limit of people being my client at one time. You know, in 1 month I might have like 2 or 3 clients, and that's all I can handle because I work from home. I have 2 kids with special needs, and I have a husband who also has some special needs. So see, I'll go off on a tangent a little bit, but anyway, as I was saying, plan, strategy. You got to have a plan, you got to have a strategy, you got to write that down. Okay, you got to go, okay, in January, I'm going to do an initiating application. My initiating application is going to have an affidavit that's going to be proofread by somebody that cares about me enough, but that isn't emotionally connected to me or my children. Who could that be? A colleague, a friend, a family member? Probably not your spouse, and probably not your mother, because they are very emotionally connected to you and your kids. We're talking about you being the applicant here. You're talking about the one who's doing the initiating application if you're already in court. Okay, that first affidavit wants to be nice and short, nice to the point, because you're going to have plenty of time to explain other things if the ex brings it up. Okay, now that is a service that I do. Okay, as in affidavit proofreading, they do take time. Okay, initiate an application affidavit, which might be 5 or 6 pages long, can take anywhere between 1 week to 2-3 weeks. Okay, depending on what we want to put in there, on how many phone calls we can get, or there's a lot of variables, but it doesn't take a week, and it takes more than a week to write an affidavit, even somebody who's proofreading it. Okay, it's an important document. Take your time doing it. Okay, so as I was saying, strategy, plan. How am I going to do this? How am I going to portray myself to the courts from now on? On paper. It's all about how you demonstrate who you are on paper. And if you have to fake it till you make it, honey, just fake it till you make it. Okay? Number 2, tell the courts how you really feel when in writing or in the courtroom. Never do that. Never tell the courts how you really feel, especially about your ex, because the probability, there's a high probability that you ain't too happy with this woman who's probably got a personality disorder, mental health disorder, or some sort of addiction, or all the above. Okay, and if you write in your affidavit, even if you're the applicant or the respondent, how you really feel about her, if it really shows that you are really angry at this woman because of who she is and all the crap that she's doing, and believe me, she's going to do more crap. Okay, the courts see that as red flags. Okay, they're going to see you as a high conflict person. They might even start to believe her because you are putting all your anger in this writing and verbally. As I said, you're supposed to, think about how you're going to portray yourself. Now, the courts have this understanding, right? Who are the courts? Side note, who are the courts? The registrars, senior and junior, the judge, the ICL, the independent children's lawyer, the family consultant or the child expert, all the people that will have access to your material or to her material, to the case file on Comcots on the court portal, or to the material, and that will have a say in your case, make recommendations or even make orders. Those are the courts. Okay, they have this high expectation of you as a father. Okay, even from the mother as well. They have this high expectation that you're at least going to come to court, well behaved. You're going to demonstrate that you are, well behaved, because if you're just going to let loose and have no filter, verbally and in writing, honey, that, if you got a short fuse as well with any people in the court, you can even go to past cases that are on Austlii, like that are posted online. Doesn't go well. It does not go well. So do not tell the courts how you really feel. All right. Number 3, be hell bent on 50-50 custody, on 50-50 everything. You have to meet me freaking 12.5 kilometers from our home to pick up the children. You write that on your freaking, on your affidavit and what you want as orders. You want 50-50, like seriously, I want 50-50 from today in interim orders. Or in final orders, I want exactly from Sunday afternoon to freaking the next Sunday afternoon at this. No, don't be hell-bent on 50-50. Oh, the courts have ordered 60-40, you 40. Oh, I'm going to freaking, fight some more. Dude, think about it. Looking after kids is hard, okay? And I'm not saying that you should look after them less. I'm saying that, God damn it, of course you should help look after them. And I know you want to help look after them. There's no doubt in my mind. But they're hard to look after too. And it's hard to fight in the courts as a father. And I'm not trying to say that you should settle. But if you're going to look hell-bent on having everything 50-50, it's going to make you look like you've got the wrong motives. Again, how do you want to portray? It all comes down to how you want to portray yourself in family court. As a reasonable, chilled AF guy, or as an unreasonable, not so chilled AF guy. Pick one. Have a think about what's going to give you a higher chance of success. Now, I always say higher chance and probability because nothing is certain. The one thing I'm certain of is that nothing is certain. Number 4, hire a lawyer and do none of the work. Do not do that. Okay, the amount of fathers that are cashed up, the ones that got a big inheritance, or the ones that are getting an inheritance, or the ones that earn a lot of money, like 100K plus, and they're just like, know a few lawyers already, but they haven't really dealt with a family law lawyer, who they think they're just all the same. They're not, okay? Family law lawyers are a different breed. And they just go, well, I've got money. I'll get the best lawyer. And they go, I've got the top lawyer. And I go, what do you think the top lawyer means? What when you say the top lawyer, what does that mean to you? Oh, the best lawyer. I'm like, this one day was saying, oh yeah, I walked into the family courts and all the other lawyers were looking at my lawyer and I just felt so good. I mean, what happened afterwards just proves my point. But I'm like, what do you think that means? And he's like, oh, that my lawyer must win every case, of course, duh. No, honey bunny, this is not Law and Order, okay? The best lawyer in family court isn't the one that wins all the cases. The best lawyer in family law, by the way, is a lawyer that is the best at extracting money and making money for their law firm and their other lawyers in that trust, in the lawyer trust, okay, in the firm, is the best one at making money. So what does that mean? The lawyer that knows how to create more conflict, and the lawyer that knows how to choose the right clients that have money and charge them for, $30 for a piece of, per page for paper. Like ridiculous things, ridiculous charges that they normally wouldn't charge somebody who's, like in the minimum wage. That's the best lawyer. The best lawyer is the best lawyer at making money and at making sure they get paid for that money. Okay, going off on a tangent a little bit again. Anyways, so do not just hire a lawyer, especially if you've got money, and sit back. I'm not sitting down, I'm standing because I was been sitting down doing work all day, and think that they're going to do all the work for you and think that, oh, yep, I'll give them the money, they'll win my case. The amount of times that I've seen dads just do terribly with that mindset, okay, what I've seen that does the opposite. When you have that attitude that I've got money and the money is going to resolve everything, especially in a family court case, it does the opposite, because what happens is that the lawyers do take advantage of you. You're telling them, take advantage of me because I'm rich, right? I've got money, and they don't take your case as seriously. You might think, oh, I'm paying them so much money. Everybody, even if you're rich or not, even if you got money or not, $100 to us is about $1,000 to them. Okay? Turn that around. $1,000 to us is about $100 to them. Okay? So just because you give them lots of money doesn't mean that they are as inclined to do the best job possible. They're not. Okay? It's their job. That's how they normally get paid. So it's a different kind of, level or world they're living on. Okay? Different reality that they're living on. So if you are going to sit back and let them do all the work and not bother them at all, and think that all the money you give them is going to, surely make you win a case, it does not. It doesn't. I have not seen that happen. The opposite happens, because they take you for a ride, they charge you for everything, they do minimal work, put your case at the end of the pile, do adjourn things, create more conflict so they can get paid more, and then they get paid anyway, and then they don't win you what you thought they were going to win you. And a lot of these daddies are too embarrassed to say that on social media. So my mission that has been going on for 8 years now is to find out what happened. And I have been calling those people up, befriending them, asking them to give me the gossip, give me the story, give me the details, tell me, show me the proof, give me something so I can tell other fathers what to do and what not to do. And that is a big one, okay? Big one. Even if you have the money to hire a really good lawyer, you should still be very involved in that case. You should still take the time to educate yourself. You should still take the time to, keep pestering that lawyer to do their job properly. Keep pestering that lawyer to pass on emails from the other side and to pass on messages that they sometimes forget to pass on. Keep showing up. Keep them on their toes. The more that you pester them and hassle them, the more serious they take your case. Okay? Okay. Number 5. With a lawyer, negotiate via lawyers, self-rep, answer lawyers straight away. Okay. If you have a lawyer, right, and she has a lawyer, if you haven't been able to negotiate within a couple of, let's say 3 or 4 letters, I would say 2 letters, but let's say give them a couple of more letters to try to negotiate, a parenting arrangement or orders between lawyers. Do not let your lawyers, right, keep talking you into that. We'll keep negotiating and trying and doing this and doing that, and then delaying your application to the courts. Too many times, okay, I have seen poor dads, right, call me or post their stories on social media, how they've spent $30,000 or $90,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 on legal fees and they haven't even got into court yet. Those lawyers are taking you for a ride. They're trying to make money just by doing letters. So if she has said no to anything that you've asked for in one letter, don't expect that she's going to all of a sudden say yes. Go to court. If you know who she is, if you know she's not going to, cooperate, and if she gets lawyers, they cooperate even less, because lawyers will tell her, right, to cooperate even less. That's just what they do. So then you have to take your chances, or take your case to the family courts and get the registrars to, or the senior registrars or the judge to make orders, because she ain't doing it. She ain't gonna budge. So don't let your lawyers, right, talk you into sending more letters and more letters and more letters and more letters, because that's costing you way too much money. It ain't going anywhere. Okay? Now, if you are self-representing, okay, this is number 6. If you are self-representing, boundaries. Make sure you keep professional boundaries. Big ones. What do you mean by that, Laurie G? Okay, here, let's give you the case of the father who went terribly, and his case is actually on Austlii, posted online, by the courts, at how he lost his shib, okay, at the ICL, the Independent Children Lawyer, because guess what? Side note, the ICL, the family courts, the people like the family consultant, the child expert, especially the ICL, is going to drive you mental, and they're going to do it on purpose. Your job, going back to the first thing that I was saying, is to portray yourself as chilled AF, patient AF, cool AF. So the more that they're trying to push your buttons, the more you got to know that they're doing that to see if you do have buttons to push. I would say you've just removed all those buttons. They ain't no buttons. They can't push. Okay? You just follow along and play the game. Always really nice, because another dads have made this mistake, and this one's all on a case and you can read it perfectly. Now, obviously they don't say that that was the direct consequence as to why they took away this dad's parental rights, but in that case it does say that he swore and threatened the ICL via email. And hey, we understand, we all understand why he did that, because we've all wanted to do that, right? We've all wanted to shake the ICL and send them some angry emails because of how inadequate and biased and corrupt they sometimes act, right? We all want to do that. But when this dad has done this, and other dads have done that, okay, it has made them look insane, because, as I said earlier, you have to portray yourself a certain way, okay? And the courts do expect you to be on your best behavior. And if you are losing your shit at the independent children's lawyer, okay, who's right under the registrars, right under the judge as well, right? And you're losing your shit at them, they're going to think that they're going to go, well, if you're going to lose it at us, important people who are here to make decisions about your case, about your children's lives, I wonder what you're going to be like in front of the kids. I wonder how you're going to treat the kids. If we've pushed your buttons, if we can push your buttons like this, kids and teenagers push buttons all the time, how are you going to react to them? That's what their thought process is, right? Our thought process is that dude, and I've known dudes that are the nicest people you've ever met, but they just got pushed and pushed and pushed, and they didn't go see a psychologist, they didn't go for runs, they didn't take care of their stress, they didn't, deal with their stress, so then they ended up just lashing out at the wrong people, which was the ICL or the registrar or somebody like that. That can make you lose custody of your children. It can. So be careful. Don't do that. Okay? Chill AF. Okay? Fake it till you make it. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, go lash out somewhere else. Not to them, not to the courts. This is not the time. Okay, number 7. Fight for equality. Fight for equality. Fight for equality. I want to be equal to the mother. I want to be treated equally. Treat me equally. I'm the father. No. Don't do that in your family court case. Some fathers are just like, they go down this road. And, I've been guilty of this road too when I was assisting my partner in his child custody case. We need to fight for equality in this case. I want to be treated equally to her. Why does she get away with this and she get away with that? And I can't do this and I can't do that. And they're treating me like less. And I'm going to just be straight up and tell you why. Because no court, staff is going to admit to this, and no lawyer will ever admit to this either. Not that I've seen anyway. You are not equal to the mother in family court. There, I said it. You, as a father, as a man, are not going to be treated equally to a mother in family court. And if you go in there thinking that this is your turn at this time during your child custody case battle to fight for your equal rights in family court, something that has been happening for decades, it's not going to have the results that you're wishing for. I don't know what results you're wishing for there. And it's not going to have the intended consequences that you want. It's going to have pretty negative consequences for you and your children. Okay, it's going to make you look insane. Because if you want to fight for father's rights, for equal rights, you do that after your court case. You don't use your children's court case or your children to prove a point. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like you're trying to prove a point by using your children. You're going to look insane. Okay, there's a time and place. Okay, there's a time and place for that. Hey, I'm all for equal rights. We've been fighting it for years. Some people for decades. But in your child custody case, ain't the time for it. Okay? You're trying to get custody of your children. Play the game. Understand you're not equal to the mother. Accepting that in that moment and having the proper strategy. And again, thinking about how you want to portray yourself to the courts. Chilled AF, cool AF, patient AF. Okay? That's what you want to portray yourself as. You don't want to portray yourself as the new freedom fighter for father's rights in your own child custody case. Finish up your child custody case, playing the game properly, okay? Succeed, tell others how you did it, and then fight for father's rights and join our fight. Okay? Okay. Number 8. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. I know, we've gone on 20 minutes. Number 8, do not assume that your case is the same as his case and his case. Oh, I saw this case on Facebook and it's exactly like my case. Oh, you know what happened to Tom, Dick and Harry? That's going to happen to me because it's the same case. No two cases are the same. Do not assume that what happened to you is going to happen to other people. Do not assume that what happened to them in that social media post is going to happen to you. Because let me tell you something, I don't know if you knew this, but it is impossible to explain the ins and outs and complications of a child custody battle that takes years to resolve in one post on Facebook. It's impossible to tell all the facts and figures in one post on Facebook. So whatever you read on Facebook or on any other post or video, take it with a grain of salt. Your cases sound similar. They sound similar. There is one common denominator. You want to know what that is? That is that y'all make babies with a woman who is most likely a narcissist, who most likely has a personality disorder, maybe bipolar, maybe a mental health issues, mental health, or has some sort of addiction, or all the above. Okay, you all went and made babies with that kind of woman. And now you're left to fight for your children's rights to have a meaningful relationship with you and her, possibly, most likely. Yes, in this country, in most Western countries, narcissistic women that have personality disorders or that have addiction problems do still get to be mothers. The courts and the law will still side with them. They will still side that the mothers still side to have a meaningful relationship with their children, even if they have all those issues, even if they've been to jail. if those women know how to play the game in front of the courts, they will, they will appreciate that. They will have good results. So you got to do the same. It's knowing how to portray yourself, in front of the courts. So no two cases are the same. Never assume that your case is the same as that person's case. Okay. Now, if you went terribly in your court case, okay, stop telling people on social media and any other father that they should just give up before they even start because you did really badly in your case. Listen, brother, I get it. You want to save other fathers the heartache of going through the child custody battle. But you know very well that you made avoidable mistakes, that if you had been better informed and better educated, okay, that you might have had a better result. And you are not doing anybody a favor by not assuming that or actually explaining that to other fathers, right? Instead, you're just going to say something like, just forget it because you're a man, you got no rights. That's actually a really selfish thing to say. I know you think you're just trying to help somebody from possibly going what you went through, but just because you went through it doesn't mean that everybody else is going to go exactly through the same thing as you, because all cases are different. Okay, 26 minutes of me chatting away about stuff that you might find useful. So if you've gotten to the end, please subscribe, please share this video, please get other people to subscribe, because I would love it if millions of fathers and the support people could watch this information. Okay, if it makes sense to you, kudos. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. You're allowed. Hey, and lastly, you're allowed to disagree. Okay, I love a good argument and disagreement. To the other fathers out there or other support people that support my content, I would also say this: I love transparency. I do, support people to disagree, and I would really appreciate it that if there are opposers in the comment sections or anything like that, that we try to educate them rather than attack them. Okay, I don't really condone opposers being attacked by my followers. Okay, obviously I don't have control over what you say and what you do and what you spew. But I do want to tell you that I am fully supportive of people that disagree with my content, and that I would love it if the conversation started, and that we could educate other people, because at the end of the day, we need the opposers to come to this content, right, to these videos, and we need to educate them. Okay, what's that saying? Kill him with kindness, kill him with kindness. Okay, I probably don't want to say that. You get more bees with honey. Yeah, cool. Yeah, okay, you get it. All right, I'll see you soon. It's getting late, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. Those kids are coming back to you. Okay, stay chilled. Get the support that you need. Get as much expert evidence. Okay, and get that stress out of your body so you don't lash out at the wrong people.